Hey, how's it going? Welcome to episode 3 of Exploring Runescape in 2004. I haven't thought of an actual name for the series yet, but maybe I'll figure something out eventually. If you're new to the series, I'd recommend you start from episode 1 to understand the full context of what's going on and how I got to this point. But basically, Lost City, or 2004scape, is an open source, non-profit preservation project that's meant to restore and preserve RuneScape exactly how it was in 2004. And this is my journey playing through the game, while most importantly, exploring the historical differences that separate RuneScape in 2004 from old school RuneScape. Right now, everyone is locked to free-to-play only, but on March 29th, just over 2 weeks as I'm recording this, the full map will be unlocked for everyone. For the next 2.5 weeks, I'll be doing as much as I can to prepare for the full release and document the path I take as I progress my account. I've spent the last month AFK woodcutting, which got me 93 woodcutting and 100k willow logs. And that's been by far the most notable achievement, probably really even the only notable achievement on my account. But since I decided to start making videos recently, I am done being a full-time AFKer, and I'm finally jumping into actually playing and exploring the game. In the last video, I burned 20k of my willows to get up to level 80 firemaking, but today I want to start off with mining. I started RuneScape in 2005, and as a kid, it was always my goal to get to 60 mining, kind of like, you know how in Ed and Eddie, it's always their main goal to get the Jawbreaker, but they get distracted with so many other things along the way. Although the difference between me and them is that they did occasionally get the Jawbreaker, whereas I don't think I ever got 60 mining as a kid in RuneScape 2, or if I did, it was way later on, like around the time Living Rock Caverns came out. But level 60 mining is the requirement to get into the mining guild, and I always wanted to get in here as a kid. You're not experienced enough to go in there. I never made it in here when the mining guild was relevant. By the time I got 60 plus mining, it was probably like 2008 or 2009 when this place didn't matter so much anymore. But now I want to relive my biggest RuneScape childhood dream of getting into the mining guild, but this time I'm actually going to get it, and I'm going to make it in, and I'm going to utilize the mining guild while it makes sense to do so. I'm thinking about that Ed and Eddie metaphor again. That's actually a really good metaphor, because from an outside perspective, it seems so simple and easy to do. Like, you just get a quarter, you go to the candy shop, and you buy your Jawbreaker. But to the kids, when they're there in the moment, it seems so difficult and so out of reach for them. And that's how it felt for me, trying to get into the mining guild as a kid. Like, looking back now, it seems so easy to get 60 mining, just spend a few days power mining iron, but at the time, it seemed like such a huge accomplishment and such a huge goal to go for. Mining is an extremely popular skill in 2004, and taking a look at my stats, outside of the woodcutting and the firemaking that I just did, mining is my highest, or I guess there's cooking too, but okay, besides for cooking, this is basically my highest skill. And it's definitely the skill I put the most amount of time into outside of woodcutting and firemaking. And yet, despite having put so much time into it compared to all these other skills, it's one of the worst ranks on my account, and that really goes to show how popular mining is. And I think the reason it's so popular is because mining coal in the mining guild is one of the most reliable moneymakers in 2004. Up until the last few days I started making videos, I had only actively played 2004scape for the first 10 days of the server being active, and then from there, that's when I started to AFK for a month. So because of that, I don't have a rune pickaxe because it was so expensive for me at the time. But now that the game is a bit more mature, there's a lot more inflation, there's more GP in the game, I can more than afford a rune pickaxe. So we're gonna go and get the rune pick, the best in slot pickaxe in the game, because the dragon pick did not come out until, let me check the wiki. The dragon pickaxe did not exist until September 2009. I'm not going to need the Addy pick anymore, so let's trade Nerm off, and I'm going to sell the Addy pick to him. We'll get 1920 GP. I originally spent 3200 GP, so not too bad of a loss. And the rune pick costs 32k, which is, at this point, that's like 1 hour of doing average money making methods. More than worth it though. So let's buy the rune pickaxe. My cash tag is now down to 41k, but I got a sweet rune pickaxe I'm gonna have forever. There's no shortcut in the Dwarven Mine to go across this wall. I was looking in the RS3 wiki and the osrs wiki, and I couldn't find the date that was added. I didn't look too closely, I just kind of skimmed it, but I don't know when the shortcut was added. I wouldn't be able to use it anyways, because in osrs you need 42 agility for it. Alright, I was just getting a thumbnail here, so ignore the messages in the chat box. But actually, let me mine these rocks before I leave. I'm going to be power mining iron, and I'll show you the method that I was doing prior to starting to record videos, because I did a little multi-skilling type of method. It's kind of dangerous to be here because if I DC while I'm in combat with the King Scorpion, if it's attacking me, I have my cash stack on me, so I could potentially lose my cash stack, so it's probably not good to be down there. I don't have to walk anywhere anymore. I can afford to use teleports because it basically costs like 450 GP to use a teleport, which is equivalent to maybe like 3 coal. And the faster I can get my XP up, the faster I can start making money. The teleporting around is an investment. It's called opportunity cost, baby. That's definitely exactly the mindset we all had in 2004 for sure. We are starting off with level 54 mining, so it's only 6 levels off from achieving my childhood dream. But because I didn't record my progress early on, I want to tell you what I did. I banked my ores and I did not start power mining until probably level 52-ish, I want to say. I would go in a loop at the Alcurid mine, mining the gold and silver, and then filling up my inventory with iron, then mining more gold and silver on the way out. That's how I got my crafting up to level 41 currently, and it's also how I got all those unblessed symbols and the gold necklaces that I showed over the last couple of videos that I was selling off. But by the time I was already over 50 mining, like I said, around maybe 52-ish, I realized that I don't think it was worth the time to bank the ores. I would have been better off rushing to get my mining level up as fast as possible, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. I will be rushing to get my mining level up by power mining iron. But for old time's sake, I do want to show you just one trip of what I used to do, the multi-skilling method that I did. So on the way to the Alcurid mine, I always had this fire talisman in my inventory, and every time I would leave the bank, I would grab an inventory of essence as I ran up to the mine. And because this is pretty much on the way to the Alcurid mine, it's almost like 0-time Runecraft XP. This is so nostalgic for me though. Like, I remember training Runecraft by using Rings of Dueling. And well, actually, I was going to say in RuneScape 2, but actually in the early days of old school RuneScape, like 2013, 2014. This method's going to be kind of irrelevant for me now though, since I'm not banking my ores anymore. I'm just going to the Alcurid mine once and then staying there to get, hopefully not leaving, and just straight up going for 60 mining. And after I leave the essence mine, as you can see, it's really not out of the way. Like at all. We're never going to be able to truly recreate the exact same experience that we had playing RuneScape in 2004 or the mid-2000s, just because of how the internet ages over time. There's more widespread information out now. We're all adults, so we're not as naive as we were as kids. We understand the full scope of things that go on. But this is really the closest thing we could ever truly get. Like, I know I talk about opportunity cost and XP per hour and stuff, and I am going to be testing out the XP per hour for this method, but I do truly believe that this is the closest experience that we can get to reliving RuneScape in 2004. Yeah, cool. I got my 3 iron ore spot here. There are scorpions here, so you want to be at least level 29 so that they're not aggressive towards you. I am combat level 62, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to test the XP per hour, so let me note down my mining XP. I'm currently 158,037. I'm just going to time it for 30 minutes and double it because it kind of makes me a little bit stressed out having the timer going and having to pay maximum attention. I'd rather go at my own pace and not have to worry about getting the max XP rate for the video, but I will just for this half hour. One last thing before I get started, because I haven't even started mining for this video yet, but I just want to note down one more time my mining rank. I'm currently ranked about 1100, so by the end of this video, I'm sure I'll be in the top 1,000. We'll see what the rank is by the end. I got a genie. It's going to interrupt my gains. I have to record this because that's going to get me 46 per... Okay, we keep going though, we keep going. Here's going to be the second level of the video, or the first mining level of the video. There's level 55, and we should get the message. You can now mine mithril. Got about 10 more minutes left for this 30-minute test. Oh, look at the old rock golem random events. I haven't really done much mining. Like, I've seen so many tree spirits because I've spent so much time chopping trees. I might have only seen this guy 1 or 2 times in my road to 55 mining. It does cut into a little bit of the XP rate. Oh, so does the connection loss. This cuts, imagine if I lost connection while he was fighting me. This cuts a little bit into the XP rate for this half-hour test, but then again, over the long term, you will get these random events and you will get those random connection loss that will cut into your XP rate. So I think that's pretty fair to include that in the time. I think something just broke with these rocks here. I paused the timer. I don't know if the connection loss like messed up the server, but this rock is respawning. These other 2 are not respawning. It doesn't say anything either when I try to mine them. Let me just relog. Relogging fixed it. So it must have just been appearing like that for me, but I guess no one else would have seen it that way. And time, let's pause it here. So I started with 158k mining XP and I'm now at about 171k mining XP. So I gained 13k mining XP in 30 minutes. And if we extrapolate that to 1 hour, that means it's about 26k mining XP per hour. I always like to underestimate things, so I'll say like over the long term of like not paying attention and clicking on YouTube videos and typing on Discord, it would probably come down to more like 20k mining XP per hour realistically. I gotta show this though, as I've been mining, I was refreshing the 04 website, and I have to show this. The amount of players online right now, 835. The all-time high player count, from what I recall, it was like around 2 to 3 weeks after the server started. So it was around maybe February 15th or 20th. It was around 840. It just came down from there though. And ever since around mid-February, the daily highs for the online player count has tended to been around the mid 700s. It's been very rare to see 800, if it's even hit it at all, I'm not too sure. But yeah, the all-time high was around a month ago. From what I saw, it was 840. I haven't seen a new all-time high or even close to it since. And now today, on a random Wednesday afternoon, we're already at 835. Let me refresh. Let's see if we broke an 840 now. Well, we'll see if we break that today. If not, I have a good feeling that this weekend we're going to break that. Oh my god, it's like 1 minute after recording that clip and it's happened. Already 852. Dude, that's wild. That's so cool. Oh, I think I know what it is. So I just got 6 hour logged on osrs. I know. 6 hour logged at 1 p.m. Don't at me. And I was trying to log in again. It wouldn't let me log in. I keep getting this message, failed to log in. Then I saw this tweet from Old School RS saying that there's issues with the game servers and logging in. So I'm guessing there's a lot of people that are struggling to log into osrs right now. They're not able to. And so they're going to 04 instead, that they've maybe been putting off, or they've been casually AFKing it on the side. Now they're coming to log in right now. And that's how we got this new all-time high player count right now. Oh, new all-time high again, 863. The classic losing the pickaxe head. Don't want to AFK too hard or click a rock and walk away from your computer because you might just lose your rune pickaxe. Well, osrs just came back online, so I assume maybe the player count will start going back down. But look at that, we hit 894. I just refreshed though, it's 873 now. Coming in with level 56 mining. And how much XP is it to next level? 184 to 203. So it's about 20k XP to the next mining level. So basically 1 hour per level, which is kind of crazy to think about, because with fire making, for example, it wasn't until I was like level 75 before it took an hour per level. So it goes to show how much slower mining really is in fire making and how much harder it is to get these levels earlier on. Just like in osrs, you can still get gems while mining. And I assume when members comes out, probably a charged glory will still increase the chance. Maybe, I'm not sure. Actually, don't quote me on that. But you can see in the chat box right there, you just found a sapphire. Whoa, in the Lost City community Discord, they just made this new channel called Useful Websites. And they got NPC drop tables, calculators, world map, Wayback Machine, and EHP Tracker. And I was looking at this one, the calculator. They have calculators for all the skills on here and these miscellaneous calculators too, which could be useful. So I'll link this calculator website in the description. I'll also put those two NPC drop table websites in the description as well. I'm not sure which one's better, but you can try them both out. It's kind of funny. I was just talking about how this isn't truly like 04 because we're adults and we have more knowledge and we're not as naive. And this is the perfect example of that. But of course, you don't have to pay attention to any of that. You could just continue to play the game without any outside resources, and really I don't think it would put you at that much of a disadvantage. No, I wasn't paying attention. I got the smoking rock and my pickaxe broke because I clicked and then I looked away and I did exactly what I said to not do. I have to fix my pickaxe. That's good though, I get to show in the video fixing the pick. I have no idea how much it's going to cost. Hopefully not too much. I have to go all the way back to the dwarven mine, don't I? I was thinking Bob for some reason. That's for woodcutting. I just have to go to Lumbridge. Oh, that's a bit of a trek. If I unequip the broken pickaxe, can you re-equip it? Or no, you cannot equip a broken pickaxe. So let's use that on Nermoff and see. Oh, that's not too bad. 1100 GP. Yes, Plox. I think really the worst part about this, besides the XP waste, is the fact that it now shows up on my adventure log. I broke my rune pickaxe, and now everyone can see that forever. The player count has come back down now to like 800, so it's probably peaked for today already. But there was a screenshot in the Discord where it did hit 901 concurrent players. Here is level 57 mining. Even though we don't have shift dropping or even runelight left click dropping, it is still actually pretty easy and pretty satisfying to drop ores in the game, because when you right click and drop, right where you click drop, you right click again immediately. And it makes nice A satisfying pattern. Another method you could do for dropping items is wait until you have a full inventory, and then you don't have to move the mouse down to drop. You can just move it from ore to ore, and it's kind of like right in the middle here. You could do it with the second to last row as well, but you just have to move, well, kind of annoying to do it that way, I don't know. And if you do it that way, you'd have to drop after every single set of 3 iron ore, rather than if you like to wait until your inventory is full and drop all at once. Got another one coming in. There's 58 mining. Ah, I dodged it in time this time. I will not be taken by you, smoking rock. 59 mining. Onto the final stretch, and it feels really good to get level 59 because that's the hardest level out of the way of this grind, seeing as level 58 to 59 is the most XP between levels on this grind that doesn't get me to my goal of 60. Oh man, it is about to happen. One more ore. It's a different level up sound as well. Different jingle, that is cool. 60 mining. You can now enter the world famous, the Gielinor famous mining guild. Oh man, I've spent probably 5.5 to 6 hours today mining. It's kind of crazy to think about. As a child, I spent so much time mining. Actually, it probably wasn't that much time mining. It felt like a lot of time. In reality, is probably hardly any time. But I spent over the course of many months mining as a child and never got to 60 mining. And here I am, I went from, what was it, 54 to 60 mining in, thank you, Jeannie, in half a day. Or half a gaming session for me. Just mining a couple more ores on the way out here. Look at all the gems I got though from this trip. I noticed that I didn't have a stack of gold ore in the bank previously. So I'm gonna quickly make these into bars because I do already have a stack of bars and I don't need to be taking up extra bank space. Hey, I realize I don't think I've shown you any production skills, so even though this is gonna be very brief, I will show you how smithing works in this game. So we use the gold ore on the furnace, wait for it to smelt, and then you use the next gold ore on the furnace and you wait for it to smelt, and you repeat that process because there is no make X or make all or even a make 5 option. There are a few things in the game that have that option, like for smithing on an anvil or certain crafting interfaces, I think have a make 5 or make 10 option, but it's very rare. With that out of the way, we are off to Falador. I'm not going to go in through the mining guild entrance that's in the center of Falador though, even though that's the way I will be doing it and that's the faster way. I want to enter through the door that I showed at the start in the Dwarven Mine because I feel like that'll be a more iconic entrance for me to go in for the first time. Is it just me or does the minimap look more green? It looks very green. Time to realize my childhood dreams and enter through the door of the mining guild. Is there any message or am I just going straight in? Yes. Yes. The mining guild. I'm free. I can mine coal. I wonder what the XP rate's going to be like. Because with the iron I was getting like a maximum of 25k per hour, but realistically it was like 20k per hour. You get 35 XP per iron ore, whereas with coal, it's 50 XP. I mean, this has got to be less XP per hour than mining iron, right? Because it's slower to mine each coal, and I also have to leave every 28 to go bank the coal. Although, on the other hand, I don't know if this really changes much, but with the iron, I do have to wait in between every 3 I do, whereas with the coal, there's so much coal that I'm not waiting around after coal. I can immediately go to the next one to start mining. So my character does not have any downtime, at least. Now let's take a look at what the prices are for coal. People are selling it for, it looks like 150 to 170, and people are buying it for 140. Could maybe sell it for 150 each. We'll say 150. That's like a nice clean number that seems somewhat realistic. I think coal is probably one of the most commonly traded resources in the game. So it's one of those items I think I could go to Vrock West and just spam selling coal and there'll be someone there to buy it. When I come up to the surface, can I one click to the bank? Oh, that's really nice. And now let's check the GP I make per inventory. So if there's 28 and I get 150 each, that is bit over 4k GP per inventory. Let's see how much coal I had in the bank from before. This is from back when I used to bank the ores in Alcarid. I would mine the coal, the silver, the gold. I never bought any coal on the account, so let's see. I have 73. It's only going to be going up from here. And I can one click back to the mining guild ladder. Or since my inventory is empty, I'd want to control click to run back. If nothing else though, this is at least way less click intensive than mining iron, because with the iron you mine it faster, so you're clicking on the rocks more, and with the iron, since I'm power mining it, I also have to drop. But with coal, I mine it a lot slower and I'm not dropping it. I would call this very interval based compared to mining iron, because with iron you can't really have your mouse off the screen for too long, but with this I can click on the rock, maybe click on YouTube or Reddit or whatever, type a couple messages on Discord, then click back, and generally not really be losing any time in game by doing so. There's also those mithril rocks in the corner, but I feel like it's not worth mining them, because besides the fact that it would take longer to mine them, there doesn't seem to be as much of a market for them. Not as many people buying them, not really people selling them either. It might take up an extra bank space for a long time, and the price seems, I mean, not too far off from coal anyways, so may as well not spend the time. Plus I'd actually have to go all the way to the corner of the mining guild, which would add time to my trips, instead of staying on the western side of the mining guild closer to the ladder. I'm still 24k XP to level, and getting 50 XP per coal means that it's close to 500 more coal for the next level. I will do a 30-minute or maybe even a 1-hour test later on, but it's almost dinner time. I don't want to have to commit myself to doing this when I start getting hungry pretty soon. I keep my energy set to walk the whole time, and if I just run to the bank with my full inventory of coal and then run back, I end up at like 60 energy, and then I just leave my walk on the whole time as I'm mining coal. And by the time I mine a full inventory, I'll be back at 100 again. I'm sure there's plenty of wiggle room if I wanted to run around down here, but I'd rather just keep it on walk and not have to think about it at all. Now let's do a little update on my mining rank. I started at rank 1100, and now after getting level 60, I am rank 745. I was taking a look to see how many people have level 60 mining, how many people can enter the mining guild, and it is 760. Just let me scroll down a little bit so you can see 760 people have gotten 60 mining and can enter the guild, and I'm one of them. I'm looking at the wiki for osrs, and I don't know if this is the same for 2004, but you were able to boost to get into the mining guild. So you could get a dwarven stout at level 59 mining and then boost to get in. I don't know. That would have been good to test. I didn't even think about that till now. But then again, it would have made my level 60 mining entrance into the mining guild not feel as special if I had cheesed it at level 59. Man, I love every time I bank this coal. It's like, boom, plus 4k GP. It is super satisfying. It's kind of like chopping an inventory of U's, except U's are a bit more. I think it's like 200 GP per U log, whereas the coal is like 150 each. Speaking of U's though, it is about time for me to AFK, and I want to chop U's. But before I chop U's, there is one kind of weird thing I want to do, which is I want to get an air talisman. If you don't already know why, I will explain it after I get it, but I'm going to go kill mine goblins, because I believe goblins are the only monster in the game that drop the air talisman, and there's some in this area, so it's not really far of a run. I could buy it from another player. There's a couple kind of older offers in right now for people selling air talismans, but it's probably faster just to... Oh, I forgot to bank the pickaxe. Well, I'll just keep going, whatever. It's probably faster to get the drop myself rather than try to find someone that's selling it and then coordinate meeting up. It's probably faster to just kill the goblins and get the drop. Is that them? Are they here? Do they exist? Yes, there they are. The mine goblins. I don't have to go all the way to Lumbridge to fight them. Yeah, they really are real. You love to see it. I'm checking this drop table website I was talking about before. I searched up air talisman, and yeah, it looks like it is only goblins that drop it, and 0.78 is about 1 in 128. This could take some time, especially if I go like double the rate, but I killed them pretty fast. I love seeing all the scenery because a lot of the stuff is pretty similar, but there's some pretty unique stuff, and I like examining it too. Like these trees look really cool, or this plant looks pretty cool too. But this is what I mean when I said in at least one of the earlier videos that it's kind of like playing UIM because you only have 60 bank space, so you really gotta be careful to pick and choose what you keep. And a lot of the items you're not going to be keeping forever. You're just using it for whatever grind you're doing temporarily and then dropping it later. And the air talisman might just be one of those items. I was going to say arguably it's even harder than UIM because UIMs have so many places to store stuff now, like the looting bag, the POH, the stash units. But there's also way more items in OSRS than there is in 2004. So probably don't have to be as picky in 2004 is you would have to be on the UIM and osrs. Not gonna lie, I didn't realize it was 1 out of 128 at first until I actually came here and looked up the drop rate, so it probably would have been faster to maybe go to V West and just spam buying air talisman 1k, and that would have been a better use of my time and a better macro efficient opportunity cost use of GP. But you know what, I'm too deep in now. Now that I'm probably 100 plus kills in, I am now closer to getting the drop than I was at the start, so yeah, that's how it works. I came to Lumbridge because it was taking so long to get the air talisman, and I know there's a lot more goblins in Lumbridge and they're closer together than the area I was killing them in. And it has been over an hour so far, and according to my attack XP I've gained, it's been about 350 kills. And I know it's not unheard of to go 3 times the drop rate for something, but there is definitely a lesson to be learned here. I'm just gonna stay here for 2 more kills though, because once I get 1 more, that means I've gotten a full attack level here. And that attack level, 49 attack, also puts me at 800 total level. But yeah, I gotta cut my losses because I'm getting hungry and I just CC'd. Yeah, I'm gonna go to V West World 1 and spam buying air talisman and hope that someone's selling one, because the 2 people that do have offers in on the marketplace are offline, and those offers were from like 6+ hours ago anyways. Buying air tally 1k. See how long this takes, or if anyone, see if I'm gonna sell one. You gotta put the colored text in there to really grab people's attention. Oh, we got a trade. My hero. Thank you, Yamaha. Air talisman, yeah. That was like 1 minute of spamming. Like I said, definitely a lesson, if not multiple lessons to be learned. Okay, I'll show you them. Let me hop to a quieter world and I'll show you the method I'll be doing while I AFK tonight. I want to chop yews to AFK tonight, and there are yews south of Falador. You know what else is south of Falador is the air altar. So on my way to chop the yew trees, I'm gonna runecraft an inventory of essence. See, I even passed right by one of the yew trees on the way to the altar. And by the way, there's no tiaras in 2004. Or at least not in May of 2004. Let me double check when they came out. Tiaras came out in June of 2005. Let's see how many air runes I get per inventory. 108, was that 4x? I'll leave the altar, chop an inventory of yews, bank the yew logs, withdraw more essence, and repeat. I like how this one trip, this first trip to the air altar, almost doubled my air rune stack. I had pretty much none in the bank. There's 1 tree on this side and another tree on this side. There's someone in this world, and there's someone in the world probably worth hopping, but I've already hopped like 4 times, and there's at least 1 person in every world. There is, I believe, 1 more tree a bit further east, but I don't think that one's worth running over to. I am back to mining now, and I'm gonna go to bed after this inventory. I mentioned in the last video that I like to save levels for the morning because it's a good way to start the day and get you motivated. I'm 2k XP to level, and that is going to be for the morning. Good morning, I just woke up. I went to the lowest populated world that had like 17 players online, and 3 of those players, now 4 of them, are in the mining guild mining. There's 61 mining. Got this world all to myself, and once I finish this inventory and go to the bank, we'll do a 1-hour test. If this was osrs, I'd be able to use a dragon pickaxe now. Yeah, I will do a full 1 hour rather than 30 minutes for this method because it's a lot more chill than mining iron. I don't think I'd feel as pressured with the timer up while doing this method for some reason. I don't even need to look at the coal because I'm just gonna be going by XP, and I could just divide however much XP I get by 50 to determine how much coal I get in this 1 hour. So I'll write this mining XP down. I'm starting at 303,162. I got my level to start off the morning. I'm feeling good. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna start from the bank because I feel like that'd be best. And let's get this 1 hour going. There is 1 hour. Let's see how much XP I gained. I'm now at, wait, let's pull the calculator up. I'm at 319,712, and I started with 303,162. So in the 1 hour, I gained 16,550 mining XP, and the amount of coal that comes out to is 331 coal in the 1 hour. People buy coal for 150 each, and you know, you could always sell it for slightly more, but I tend to like to go by the buy offers because that's more of like a worst case scenario. I like to be more conservative with the estimate. So if we say 150 GP each, that means the profit per hour comes out to close to 50k. I just realized I have my osrs screen on the bottom, ignore that. So it comes out to like 16k XP per hour for a full hour of paying attention attention at coal, whereas for a full hour of paying attention at iron, it's 26k. Although keep in mind, the level of attention required and the click intensity are both a lot lower for coal. And of course, I'm earning that 50k or close to 50k GP per hour at coal since I'm banking it, and I would not be banking iron. That kind of makes me wonder though, how much XP per hour would I get mining coal if I didn't spend the time to bank it? I don't care that much to find out though. I'd rather just bank it and get the extra GP. I would be curious to time out and test a full hour again once I gain like 10 plus mining levels, like at 75 mining. Would it be that much of a noticeable difference compared to doing 1 hour of coal at only 61 mining? Remind me in the future to do that if I ever get to that point. Little milestone here, this inventory of coal puts me at 1,000, which I guess that means like 3 hours of coal. Although I don't think it's gonna be 330, whatever I said, 330 coal per hour over the long term, because that was a quote unquote efficient hour. Over the long term, I assume it's probably gonna go down to more like 250 to 300 per hour. Even with my mining level going up, I don't know how much of a difference that's actually going to make. I think mining level will have a decent effect on mining coal and speeding that process up, but I think I've pretty much capped out how much iron I can mine per hour, so I don't think a higher mining level will affect mining iron, but it should affect mining coal. There's level 62 mining. It is now about 35k mining XP to the next level, which is over 2 hours of mining coal. Realistically, it's gonna be like 2.5 hours of mining coal to get to the next mining level. That's the 2004 experience, baby. I just realized at this point, it's faster for me to get a firemaking level at level 80 firemaking than it is for me to get a mining level at level 62 mining. It really makes me realize that mining is like, I don't know, it's like a powerhouse of the game. Like I look at people's stats and the high scores whenever I see them here to see what their mining level is, and I feel like it kind of shows me how much of a mining guild veteran they are, like how much time they spent here, how much GP they probably have in their bank for mining coal. Because I assume all the people here have power mined iron to 60, and then from 60 to whatever level they are now has probably all been coal. The same thing for people's strength level. I feel as if strength is the metric to see how long someone's spent doing combat and how dedicated they are to their combat. I talked about in a previous video how the rune axe has no woodcutting requirement to be able to use it. It does still have the attack requirement, and it's not just the rune axe. I think it's all axes in the game for woodcutting. You don't need a woodcutting requirement to be able to use them, just the attack level to equip them. For pickaxes though in 2004, I believe you do need the mining level requirement to be able to use them. Let's make a goal for the mining for this video. I want to get to 2,000 coal. I haven't checked for a little bit. What am I at now? Oh, 1,500, so it's like another hour and a half. And 63 mining as well if I don't already get that by the time I get to 2k coal. Wait, take a look at this pathing. When I click on this rock, you would expect me to go north and then east, right? But look at this. I love the pathing in this game. There's so many little things I've noticed that I haven't shown, but there's a lot of things like that where the pathing is very janky and not what we're used to. Here's another example. Let me turn my run on. So if I'm mining this rock and I click 2 tiles east and then I click back on the rock, what you would expect to happen is I would go 2 tiles east, and then when I click on the rock, I would go down to this tile, right? But check this out. Click on the rock. I go back to the starting tile. I originally noticed that when I was woodcutting, but I mean, it applies to mining and probably a lot of other places in the game where you go back to your starting tile. Classic mining guild interaction between two people. Man, the mining guild is starting to get busy, which makes sense because the player count is starting to get to its peak for the day today. A lot of people online. I guess it's a good thing I'm getting pretty close to my mining goal for today. It's kind of ridiculous when there's 3 or 4 other people here. It's very hard to find a rock. That'll be one of the nice things about members coming out though, that because the map will open up, people will be spread out more, so places like the mining guild won't be as packed. There's probably going to be an influx of players, but even so, I imagine, well, I guess the mining guild is free to play area, so maybe the mining guild won't even be that good when members comes out, or won't be worth the time, but that's some food for thought. I just closed out of the mining level as I got it, but there's 63 mining. I think I have 2 more inventories after this, and then I'll reach 2k, so got that mining level just in time. After a total of about probably 7 hours at the mining guild, it is done. And by it, well, let's just say my 2,000 coal stack. I'm not sick of the mining guild, believe it or not. You probably do believe it. I'm excited to do plenty more coal mining in the future there. It really does feel like I'm just getting started with my mining, but 2,000 coal worth 150 GP each means if I were to sell it, that would be 300k GP. But I might save it for myself to train smithing by smelting steel bars and maybe even use the steel bars myself. But I'll worry about that in the next video. For a couple other updates, I've got a 40k cash stack. My U-log stack is about 500, so that's about 100k GP worth. And I want to take one final look at the high scores. I am overall rank 175. I feel like I've been playing so much and grinding so hard, and I've barely moved up any ranks. The mining rank, however, I started at 1100 and now I'm just over 500, rank 525 for mining. Don't you worry though, because next video I will continue on with the mining and mine probably thousands of more coal because I'm enjoying it. It's fun to see it stack up in the bank and get the mining levels. But with that said, thank you so much for following along my journey and sticking with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for still being here. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a great day, and hopefully see you again next time with more adventures in 2004.